Hello, this is a video on show somebody how to take apart a 24-inch monitor display screen because he needs to clean it a little bit. Some other people might get use out of this. This is one model 24. This is the one with the rear backlights. As you can see, there's 6 bulbs here, which means the bulbs are on the back side. If you have 2 little wires on the bottom and 2 on the top, your bulbs will be high and low, so it'll be a little bit different screen, but probably the same principle. Alright, basically the first thing you want to do is, once you get your boards out and your screen out of your unit, and some units you have a whole metal shroud back here and some side screws, you have to take those out, take the whole board assembly off. Some have different boards mounted different ways, but either way you'll probably have to take the carriage off the back. Alright, and look for tape. Sometimes the tape you're going to be taking this metal frame off around the outside. So you want to see if there's any tape holding it in. In this case, it's up near the top here. So what you want to do is take it off. Now if it's going over a ribbon, keep your finger pressure on that ribbon so that you're not flexing the ribbon at all, and work the tape slowly, because you don't want to cause any damage to those ribbons, because you can't fix them. Alright, so basically you're going to take the tape off. There's a piece on top here, and I guess I'll get it off right away. Sometimes here. Okay. Now the T-con board, which is under here, that can stay in place. If you have one with the high and low lights, you might not have a separate T-con board. You might have a board going all the way across the whole edge. If that's the case, there'll be a metal cover on it. You'll have to unscrew that. Alright, and you flip the critter over. And basically you'll see locks on the, they're all snapped together. Once in a while you'll find a couple with a couple screws. Look around, see if there's any screws. But if not, you just reach up underneath and just start unsnapping these. Now I have fingernails, so it works for me, but sometimes in the corners it gets tough. So good use of a card. And you just gotta work your way around. And the corners are usually the roughest, because you have 2 clips in one corner and a corner doesn't flex a lot. So you've got to work both sides. Sometimes 2 cards, an extra set of hands might help. But there we go. Alright, that's one side there. And like I said, I'm starting from the bottom. You'll start from the bottom, don't go on top. Tight, and get it rough. And then go around the other side. Okay, set your screen up and lift straight up and then slide away on the back. Alright, now one thing you gotta need to watch on these is you do not want to play with these ribbons. Don't bump them too much, don't touch them with bare skin. Just be gentle around these ribbons. They're on the top side. And some of them have them on the side, some have both sides. I've seen some screens that don't have any on the sides. But anyway, this is the screen. Now basically what you want to do is you want to lift this up from the bottom side. Suction cup works. And you gotta work it, because sometimes they're sticky. If you don't get it all in one shot, just work your finger down, or credit card, again, work your way around. And it'll lift up. Like I said, sometimes they have a seal around these, and sometimes they're really sticky. Alright, once you get it up, you can get rid of that suction cup. Now, I was telling somebody else is you got to be careful with these ribbons up top. You don't want to over flex them one way or the other. Alright, so when you lift, keep a little bit of forward pressure, otherwise the screen will take off on you and go backwards. And that basically shows the films on the inside. Now I'm going to switch to a monitor that's along this. It's still, now what you'll have to do is to check for dirt and dust. You can't really do it with no power on it, so you've got to get a screen picture on it, which means you have to put your boards back in. So on the corners or on the sides, take a small piece of tape and stick them diagonally across the corners like so, and that'll stop the screen from falling out when you flip it over. Do both corners like that, and you flip it over, your screen won't fall out and go all over the place. Alright, don't put tape on those ribbons that I mentioned. Alright, now we're going to go down here. We're going to show one that's already at the same point, but the boards are hooked back up. And we're going to turn her on. Here's a nice suction cup. If you don't have a suction cup, you could do the same thing with a piece of tape. Take a piece of tape, fold it into two ends so you can pull it back up easily, and then raise the center up. Make it into like a T. You can see that well. Stick that on the screen. Rub both sides of there. It gives you a nice little lifting handle here. And then when you're done, you can peel off that little folded over tab and take her right off. Alright, let's wake this computer up. Alright, before you lift the screen, you want to make sure you get all the dust off the top, because as soon as you lift that screen up, it's going to act like a vacuum cleaner and everything's going to go inside. Alright, and you start looking for problems, whether it be little smudges, or in this case, there's a piece of dust up near the top. Move the camera a little bit. The camera's going to pick up on this because it's a white screen. Well, actually it's gray, but where am I? Right here. You can see there's a hair there on the inside. Basically what you're trying to do is get things out of there, so you lift this up. And if you see the hair is not moving with the picture, as you lift up, it's not moving, that means it's underneath. And if you go in there, just wipe it, there it goes. You can wipe out the whole board like that, get the dust out. Alright, if you have something stuck on the bottom here, it'll move with the film when you move it. Alright, again, keep a little forward pressure, not much, so that your screen doesn't slide back. And don't lift it way too high, or you're going to flex those ribbons on the back. Now if you have a smudge or dark spot, that basically is for getting dust out. If you have a smudge or a dark spot on the screen and it goes up with the screen or down, you can wipe them out. If you're going to use a little tiny spot of distilled water, because it doesn't have too much crap in the water and won't leave rings or stains, and you can actually wipe out the stain underneath by just rubbing it out. If the screen needs a real good cleaning, then you will have to take it further apart, which now I'm going to switch back to the other screen. Put this over here. Turn this off. Now, switching back to the screen I started with, that's taped on the corner. What you want to do, if you have to take the whole screen out, on this one, you just connect this ribbon, and the board on top will slide loose. Again, gentle on this board, basically let it fall on its own. Alright, when you grab your screen on each side, don't squeeze too hard, and watch that ribbon on the bottom, just let it kind of fold off on its own. Again, watch these side ribbons because they're easy to mess up. If you had it taped on like I did, just tape it on. Grab my cup, which is underneath on the other one. Suction cup, just to get her started. And then grab the two edges and pick it straight up. And if you need to, you could do a little more thorough cleaning this way. If you got a lot of stuff to do, like there was a couple specks of dust. Alright, now if your yellowing is down this side, down the edges, there's a good chance that it's not the film and it's not the screen. What happens is these bulbs start turning the plastic yellow from age. You notice the plastic here and these little stands, they're all yellow. Well, believe it or not, they started out as white. And that's yellowing from age. And the only way to get them out is take them out and soak them in some special cleanser and put them out of UV light. And try to turn it back white through a chemical process. That screen was filthy. Okay, but basically that's how you clean out if there's something between here and the bottom of the screen. Now these have more layers of film underneath, and to get to them you gotta go a little further, which means it involves clipping off the black section here, which on some is pretty easy and some are just a pain in the butt. I'll just do part of it here to keep this video not too long. Should have grabbed one that was already done. And see, you can see these locking clips. The bottom ones usually aren't too bad. The side ones are the ones that are a pain in the butt. That's some models. Okay, that should be that side. Try to get this side here. Show what the insides look like. Alright, now once you get this off, try not to let these films slide all over the place and they'll take off on you like ice. Alright, I just want to show what these look like. Basically there's multi-layers of film here. Don't handle these barehanded, because if you get oil on them, you can't wash them all. But if you see this old screen here, this one's got a lot of yellowing from age. And there's not a whole lot you can do about that. And then down underneath everything, you'll find different layers of film. Now if you're going to pick them up to get to the bulbs, try to get them all up in one shot. That way the dust doesn't get between them. And now I'm going to show you another example of yellowing. This one's not as bad, but if you look here, in these stands, those used to be white. You can actually see what color it's supposed to be on this side of the clip. That's white. Everything's turned yellow, and that causes a reflection and causes darkening down both sides of the screen. So a lot of people think it's bulbs doing it, but it's actually not the bulbs. It's the bulbs that are causing this plastic to turn nasty. Let's see if we can get one of these out of here. They snap any, but they don't always snap out easy. There we go. Come on. Alright, now you can see where it's more white back here, and it's all turning yellow there. I said that's from age and the heat browning it. And that makes its way up through the front of the screen. Alright, so that's basically the gist of the operation. Now this side yellowing you don't get if your bulbs are top and bottom, but most 24s have lights in back, but there is still a few with lights top and bottom. And on the top and bottom ones, this plastic that's this hard plastic is usually thicker, and sometimes that starts to yellow at the very top and bottom itself. Alright, I hope this helps somebody out. If you got any questions, you have to drop me an email. Okay, have fun.